Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have how we know Kendrick Lamar is dropping new music soon. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop for the video, and there's definitely been talk about Kendrick Lamar dropping new music for a while now. People have been speculating a deluxe version of his hit album GNX, a project with 5 records still in the top 30, and Luther still holding down the #1 position. And the fact that Not Like Us is still in the top 30 after a year is most definitely amazing, and what a historical run it has been. Who knows if a deluxe album is coming, or maybe just some new features, or how about an entirely different project altogether? Maybe something more akin to the tremendous concept albums he has delivered. But what we do know is that he's been at the studio as of late with pictures of him hitting the stew recently. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video where again we have how we know Kendrick Lamar is dropping new music soon. And like I said, who knows, but the fact he's still hitting the studio during his historic stadium tour really highlights how much the dude is really dedicated to his art and the craft. And the Drake Stans argument that Kendrick Lamar doesn't drop enough, definitely null and void right now, and the OVO army is definitely eating their words. You guys got what you wished for, and honestly, we're all loving it.
Now when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, well, right now we just found out something so major, and it seems like all the speculation that we have had is coming true. As with what we have just seen, Kendrick is officially the most locked in that he has been all year at this point, as now currently.
I can't even say that. The dude has just been locked in from day one. There was that talk about that Taylor Swift feature that we obviously never heard. Who knows if that's something to expect soon? But can we really expect anything but Kendrick Lamar being locked in at this point?
As Kendrick, SZA, and the rest of their crew have stopped down in the New York area for the Grand National Tour, which I went to the first night at MetLife Stadium and am probably going to the second, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can hear all about that because I got a lot to say about the show. Well, with all of this and Kendrick having a day off and 2 more show days in New York, what we have clearly seen is that he's not just touring in this time or doing what most other artists would during a tour, which is just sit back and be okay with their current success and just get ready for the shows.
Well, that's not even sitting back because there is a lot of preparation that comes with these type of shows. Kendrick Lamar is obviously somebody that's going to take things to the next level.
Kendrick fashion, he is just continuing to try and push the boundaries of what a rapper can do forward. As we have seen that Kendrick is actively working on something, as with a rare sighting of him in New York. We found out that he was busy spending his day off before his 2 MetLife shows in the studio. And now with what we officially know about where Kendrick Lamar was at and who is also in New York right now with him and his crew that he could possibly be working with, well, we now know Kendrick Lamar is locked in and is getting ready to drop something major. And now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now as our Kendrick Lamar theories are starting to actually become true and we are getting near the point where we are going to see what the next move in this all-time great run will actually be sure to leave that like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything Kendrick has coming. And now with that said, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, I mean, there's really nothing like him in hip-hop
He's the
right
GOAT.
now, because with just a few photos of Kendrick coming out, everybody is wondering what this all.
It's crazy. This is all coming from a person that never really says anything publicly. When Kendrick Lamar has a message, he delivers it through music. This is a guy that is winning and he's doing it his own way. He doesn't have to go out there and sell his soul. The guy is doing it on his terms and it's amazing. And the success that this guy is having is so well deserved.
All means and what this is actually going to lead to. And really with just a single moment of us seeing what Kendrick Lamar has going behind the scenes, which has literally caused more conversation than most other actual music drops from rappers because they are so bad currently. Of course, now with the level we have seen Kendrick.
It's not that they're all bad, it's just you have to do a lot of searching to find the quality ones.
Right now, this conversation is rightfully earned, and it really is important because we know when Kendrick is getting to work, something is going down. And now clearly with whatever Kendrick is going on in New York, with the energy that he had at the first MetLife Stadium show, which compared to the rest of the tour so far, which the bar was already so high for, Kendrick seemed more inspired and energized than ever. And now while there were a few reasons for that, I will talk about it more after seeing Kendrick's second MetLife show tonight.
Yeah, well, Kendrick Lamar, if you guys don't know, has been living out in New York for a few years now. And with New York being the biggest market, it's definitely going to be a show that he's really going to make sure goes off extraordinarily. Even though I do feel like Kendrick Lamar treats everything he does with the highest attention to detail. The guy truly moves with purpose and intent behind every move. And like Frank Sinatra said, the dude can literally say he did it my way.
Because it seems like he has a surprise coming there, so again, be sure to be subscribed and ready for that. Well, beyond what's happening in the stadiums, what looks like happened right before these shows started is that Kendrick just made another all-time great moment in the studio the day before the show, and now with this picture and what Kendrick Lamar did specifically, well, as all we have seen are a few pictures of Kendrick Lamar rolling up to a studio in the West Village. I mean, while for most other rappers this would mean absolutely nothing, as Kendrick is going to the lab, and we know that for sure, this speaks volumes, because however you want to put it, the biggest rapper in the game is still elevating his craft and trying to put something together. And now what's actually great is that because of everything we know, we can narrow down and figure out exactly what Kendrick Lamar is starting to work on here.
Also, sometimes people don't realize, even when you're not dropping music, doesn't mean you aren't creating. He more than likely has albums upon albums, but he's an artist. And at the end of the day, no one should really dictate how an artist creates or the timeline in which they do. I know we're all fans and we're all going to feel a certain way because I'm a very big fan of his music as well. But considering the accolades that the guy has built over the course of his career and the fact that all his albums hit, can we really question his tactics? I do love the fact that now he's dropping, I feel like, more than ever. And it's going to silence a lot of people that say, hey, man, your favorite artists don't drop enough. What do you have to argue now? It's not numbers anymore.
And now when it comes to this, well, there are a few potential names that Kendrick Lamar could have been in the studio with and making music, whether it's for himself in that GNX Deluxe, which once again, to talk about that MetLife show, fans were chanted for all night, especially when he played Tiramisu. And really, speaking of the show, it feels like it's becoming more real, especially after I actually heard Kendrick Lamar perform Tiramisu live, and you see how he places it in the set list of the tour within the most pivotal tracks in this era, which should just tell us so much. Or again, beyond solo work, Kendrick is getting ready to release another feature with the second artist after Playboi Carti and his album Music. And now what the best part is about all of this is that with everything we know, we can pretty much almost 100% say that Kendrick Lamar definitely made new music that we will end up hearing pretty soon.
Yeah. Because if he's not making it, he's definitely finalizing it.
Based on the way that Kendrick has and is seemingly continuing to create music and tell stories in the GNX era, he is making and writing verses as close to the release of them as possible to really reflect his thoughts and everything in general that he wants to say in real time. Which we have seen now over and over again, whether it's with the GNX album whose intro track Whacked Out Murals was based off an event that happened weeks before the record came out, and even the self-titled GNX track, which we know that the beat was made days before the record came out, and even with all of the songs he made with the West Coast artists, all of them said they were in the studio with Kendrick in October, and that album came out in November. And even beyond just the GNX sessions, even with Playboi Carti's music and the song Good Credit, which has a reference to Luka Doncic going to the Lakers in Kendrick's verse, and
everything is obviously current. Kendrick Lamar is in his flow state. The guy is fully tapped in creatively, and that's saying a lot.
A$AP Rocky and everything that happened between him and A$AP Rocky, which were both events that happened within a few weeks of the song dropping as well. Overall, when you understand this, we see that when Kendrick Lamar is in the studio and when a verse of his is coming out, it is for something that is ready to have immediate impact on music, and I think that's going to end up being no different here. And so now when it comes to who Kendrick may have been working with in the studio here and who his next song is going to actually be with, well, the first and maybe most realistic person that Kendrick has been working with is none other than Roddy Ricch. And now as Roddy Ricch has been in New York this week alongside Kendrick, and he was at the MetLife shows but wasn't a guest and just sat back and enjoyed the show.
Never know, it might be. At the end of the day, Roddy has been dropping music. None of it has been hitting, obviously, like The Box. None of it has had that type of success, but he's still releasing stuff. But with how premier of an act Kendrick Lamar is, it could honestly be anyone. I wouldn't just relegate it to another rapper at this point.
Well, we are seeing that Roddy is in New York, and it wasn't to come out on stage, and with what we are witnessing and how he has been with Kendrick's team for the past few days, and now he's talking about MetLife and talking about GNX and everything going on around him in general. I mean, it would make sense that Kendrick and Roddy, who of course collaborated on the GNX track Dodger Blue, could be getting ready to release another collab for Roddy's upcoming project, the Navy album, which is projected to release on July 18th, which is not too far from now. And again, as Roddy has been trying to push this album as a very significant moment in his career, and we know Kendrick Lamar's go-to.
It could be make or break for Roddy. The dude, like I said, hasn't had the type of success. Even though he's been dropping some cool music, it hasn't been getting the same buzz.
Two collaborators like Terrace Martin
but a Kendrick
have been working
feature
on the record for
could change that heavily.
I mean, Kendrick coming on this record, helping the West Coast, and putting together a big track with another major artist who supports everything that he is doing would all make a lot of sense with what he is trying to achieve in this era, and seems like this could be the very next move that we see from Kendrick. But now, aside from Roddy Ricch, there is a chance that this was for another collab, as the Met Gala was this week and Pharrell and Pusha T were there, and they have been once again teasing their long...
Guys, if we get a record, a collaboration between those three, It would be so epic, especially given their history with Drake themselves.
Awaited Clipse reunion album, and we even got a new snippet from the record. Well, it could be possible that
Barred
Kendrick
up,
Lamar could have been
cuz.
meeting up with Pharrell and Push, who once again, just like Roddy Ricch, are on the smallest of rappers and artists who Kendrick Lamar does actually respect and get along with. And for these two specifically, Kendrick has always had a really strong friendship with them as well, all the way to the point that Kendrick
He said, man, for Pharrell, he'll inherit the beef, fam.
and Push were working on It's Almost Dry and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers together while using and talking about how they're using Pharrell's own beats and just listening to each other's songs, which we have all seen in the iconic studio session where Kendrick, Push, Pharrell,
That could also be it too. A lot of times people just show up to the sessions to give their take, to give their opinion. It's not necessarily to make music. I've been in some of those sessions. So that could be very plausible. But yeah, man, it definitely would be very exciting to see a collaboration from those three come out, especially now.
and some other people were listening to Jay-Z's verse on Neck and Wrist from Pusha T's album. And I mean, we know now the bond between these artists is good, and we have been hearing in the industry that Kendrick and Clipse was always coming and that it was going to change this album and hip-hop forever.
That's right. Isn't Clipse dropping a project?
Because of it. And once again, with all of this, maybe Kendrick was in the studio with them and was touching up his own work there, or maybe even delivering a verse for that record once and for all. Which again, considering how Kendrick wants his verses to reflect the times, it would make sense that maybe he had a placeholder verse where it was just a plan to be on the record, and now he's actually recorded what is going to be released. And now beyond these names, it is also important to note that Playboi Carti has also been in New York, seeing how Kendrick and Carti have linked up on tour already, and finding out that they have a surprisingly great creative relationship that is only growing now. I mean, as Carti wants to drop another album and Kendrick Lamar does have more music to drop still, they could be getting ready to release more music, but for all we know, at the very least, we can see that with Kendrick Lamar going to the studio and being within more sessions, he is continuing to just keep his run going.
That just shows how locked in the dude truly is. The guy is on a historic stadium tour. It's going to break the record for highest grossing rap tour ever, no matter how DJ Academics tries to spin it into an R&B tour, because at the end of the day, Drake probably has even more R&B than this Kendrick Lamar and SZA tour combined. Kendrick Lamar has been releasing music at a clip that I don't think we've ever seen from him, and I'm definitely not complaining.
And whether this is a collab or a solo song or maybe
I don't think none of you guys are complaining either.
It is going to be great to see what this actually turns
Especially
out into. But now for the time being, while we officially know that Kendrick Lamar has recorded something and that he's in the studio, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be used for, what we can say is that as we see Kendrick Lamar getting ready and still having more solo music to release, because again, you don't perform an unreleased song at the Super Bowl and the stadium tour unless you're actually going to release it. At the very least, while we really don't know what's going on with that and what Kendrick's plan is going to be for some sort of a deluxe, we know that Roddy Ricch and Pusha T have new albums coming this summer, with Roddy having a release date as
he might be dropping features on all those projects.
Well for the Navy album, which hopefully is the final one because he has moved it back quite a lot. But with all of this, at the very least, I think we can say that a feature run is coming and that we are going to see Kendrick make both amazing
Definitely makes
tracks,
sense.
and in the case of what him and Roddy may have coming, may end up being the song of the summer, who knows. But now for Kendrick and Roddy, as July is far away for how much is going on in hip-hop and in Kendrick's story, I would imagine that as it is rumored in the industry that the new Clipse album will be dropping very soon after so many delays and just pushback.
I am so excited about that. I remember I did a beat battle back in the day in New York, and Malice was there. He was one of the judges. I placed top 3, and the dude was like, yeah, your beats are so unorthodox. I would love to rap on them. I got his contact, but nothing ever came from it. But I got a homie that's been DJing for Pusha T, so I'm going to hit him up and see what's up. Clipse have some classic albums, and it's definitely a long time coming.
I think we are going to see whatever all-time great lyrical back and forth Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T have ready for us to see, as they give us one of the most anticipated collaborations in hip-hop. And I'm sure with this song, it'll be everything Kendrick Lamar needs next, because it is going to give him a musical atmosphere.
It's going to give Drake heart palpitations,
where he has just complete creative reign to address everything that has been on his mind. And so overall, as we are entering a summer for hip-hop where it seems like a few more artists may drop to make the rap game a little more interesting outside of Kendrick Lamar, who is just carrying the genre like we have never seen. I think we're going to see another great run from Kendrick that will go from features, and I mean, we got to get the GNX Deluxe album soon.
I could definitely see him doing a feature run and maybe putting out a project in a few months, maybe fall. And that's all speculation at this point, but we all know that the dude's been recording music.
Because again, there is no way that Kendrick Lamar's unreleased song that he keeps playing in every pivotal moment of his career receives such an important part of the performance, especially now with this tour, and then it's just never going to drop. So for now, as we are just left speculating on what Kendrick Lamar leaving the studio really means, well, all we can do now is just wait and hopefully find out sooner than ever that we are about to get more Kendrick Lamar music after all, which I'm sure is going to happen.
Yeah.
So now with all this said, let me know. What do you
Yeah, man. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop for the video. And yeah, man, I definitely expect some music soon, whether it's features or a deluxe album. We honestly don't know yet, but the way Kendrick has been dropping music this past year, it's definitely looking like he's on a roll. I don't think he would drop an album midway through this tour, but I could definitely see those features going through and killing it. Rich is somebody that, like I said earlier, has been having a hard time trying to catch a hit, but having a Kendrick Lamar feature is definitely something that's going to put a lot of eyes on that project. And if we do get a Kendrick feature on the Clipse album, I definitely expect that to get a ton of eyes. That beef was ended prematurely, obviously behind the scenes, but there's obviously still some bad blood there. And like I said earlier, all these things could be true, and we could also be getting an entirely different project closer to fall, which would be amazing. I definitely expect Kendrick Lamar to drop maybe like a more conceptualized album, that especially since that's really been the trend when he's released albums. Definitely let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think is going to be released? Do you guys think it's going to be another feature? Do you guys think it's going to be a deluxe album or an entirely new project? Whatever it may be, I definitely feel like he's going to have some new music coming, especially to heat up the summer. Kendrick Lamar does seem more locked in than ever, and that's saying a lot for a guy that has always moved with intention and purpose when dropping anything or doing anything. We really don't ever see him do anything publicly other than some very rare appearances and interviews. Other than that, he's really only kept it musical when it comes to like delivering his message. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show the channel on a daily is honestly overwhelming. So I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. Guys, I did activate the YouTube memberships. I really want to thank all those that have joined. It's a small way to support the channel, but it definitely goes a long way. And also the Discord is active. So I really want to thank a lot of you guys for signing up to that as well. I've been very busy on getting like the channel updated. As you can see, the layout of the channel has changed for the better, at least for me. But I'm definitely going to get a lot more active on all our other platforms and also the Discord. So definitely sign up for that to get notified of all the drops. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. And I can totally see a feature run followed up by like an album maybe later in the year. And yeah, man, next Grammys might be even crazier than this Grammys.